How you doing, PG?
I'm all right. I felt bad you're sitting there all by yourself, so I figured I'd...
No, I appreciate that. What do you want to talk about?
Well, talk about your sign. If you voted for Donald Trump, you're evil? I mean, that's a strong word.
It's a strong word that I would use for actually a very small minority of the people who voted for him. I think most people who voted for Donald Trump would fit into the fool category, but because like everyday, MAGA Americans who I think some things that I think are really awful, but they think them because they've been lied to. They think them because they lack like a foundational education in civics or things like that might make them a little
lied to by whom?
Fox News hosts would be like a big category. There's lots. I mean, strangers on the internet, people on the street corner. I mean, like there's a misinformation problem right now. But like to pick on someone, I would say Fox News hosts is a good example of the type of people I'm talking about.
All right. On the flip side of that, do liberals or Democrats or just the American people in general get lied to?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So
I don't think it's proportionate. I think that like if you took an assessment of like left-leaning media and right-leaning media, for example, you could pick like politicians, you could pick like streamers like me, you could pick any group. And I think if you did an assessment of like just list the claims they make and then just check if they are true, I think you'd find that there's like a rampant misinformation problem on the right. And then on the left, it's like, yeah, we got some like nincompoops and some bad actors. Like, yeah, you can find examples.
Sure. I mean, let's look at TikTok right now. I mean, okay. maybe it's my feed or whatever, but I mean, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of left-leaning lives going on right now.
Sure.
Why?
Because the country is in a really like serious, dangerous situation, and people like myself consider it like important to talk about it and try to like do what we can to help. And I think if I can convince like one person that they're a fool and to get them out of this camp entirely, like that's me doing my civic duty, because I think the country's falling into tyranny, and that's bad.
I'm not sure why you think it's falling into tyranny.
I think that history lays out pretty clearly what tyranny looks like. And if you know that history, you should be really afraid of what's happening right now.
Yeah, but you're literally talking to someone who voted for him 3 times.
Okay.
So it's not as though he just installed himself as the president of the United States.
Right. So, yeah.
Overthrew the government.
I'm not suggesting that he did. I'm saying that he is in process of overthrowing the government and following. And Hitler was democratically put in place. I think he was appointed by a person who was democratically elected. That's how democracy worked in the Germany in the early 30s. So, like,
I think he won an election.
Sure. Yeah. My point is that like just because somebody won a democratic election doesn't mean that they're not a tyrant. There are other things that you can do that will make you a tyrant. Okay. Like ignoring and flagrantly and repeatedly, consistently violating the Constitution of the country that democratically elected you. That's tyrannical behavior. Usually.
But we do have a Congress, right? We do have a Supreme Court, right?
We do. Both of them have loyalists who are guilty of the same thing I just said installed in them. We have both Supreme Court justices and then members of both houses of Congress who do exactly what I just said. Flagrantly violate the Constitution to follow party lines.
We still have governors. I'm just saying, I'm not sure where this whole tyranny thing is coming from. I mean, I don't feel any different than I did even 3 years ago.
I'll take an example from the chat. How do you feel about the federal government violating the Epstein Files Release Act by failing to release the Epstein files and failing to make redactions that are legally defensible?
You guys are way too hung up on these Epstein files.
I don't think we are. I don't think enough people are hung up on the Epstein files. Have you looked at the Epstein files? There's some wild stuff that's like not super well substantiated, and I can say like, all right, some random witness statement on like, a police guy's notebook from 20 years ago is like not like the smoking gun that it is, but there are a lot of, in fact, there are enough smoking guns in the Epstein files that other countries have started to prosecute people. Norway, England, France, they all have these situations where they go, oh, he's in the Epstein files. He did fucking what now? Lock that motherfucker up. Why is that not happening here? Or to go back to the question that I asked that you didn't answer, why is it okay for the federal government to violate the law and not release them and then not make legally defensible redactions? Because they have been shown to make legally indefensible redactions. That happened to also make it look way more likely that the president has touched kids.
I'm not sure the legal argument that's been made. I'm not sure what the redactions are. I mean, I haven't gotten into this whole thing, but what I'm asking is, like, in 2019, I don't know how old you are. Like, where was all this energy after Epstein got arrested and then magically got unalived? You know,
so we were pretty upset about the.
Nobody asked the question.
No, we were pretty upset about the magical unaliving. I think that the public discourse, I mean, the meme Epstein didn't unalive himself is a pretty powerful meme that we got from that time. But I will also say that at the time,
where was the media?
The media
when all that happened.
The media was watching. I mean, okay, so you're steamrolling a little bit. Let me answer the question you just asked before that, which is like,
I'm not trying to steamroll you. I want to know where all this energy was.
So when Epstein was arrested, that was a good thing. He should have been arrested. That was progress, right? So people watching like me at the time could look at it and be like, yeah, look at that. They got him. Oh my gosh. They're putting together all they got Ghislaine. They're doing, she's maybe going to give some names. They're going to like raid every property he's ever had. Like, we're going to get this massive collection of files on all the people that he worked with and sold children to. Like, I was excited about it. And here we are, 7 years later, and nothing has happened. Not one additional person has been arrested. So, like, yeah, now we're upset. I think Biden should have done more to direct the DOJ to look into this stuff and make some prosecutions happen. I think that would have been.
You mean done more? He didn't do anything.
To my knowledge. Yeah, he didn't do much at all because he respected the fact that the DOJ is generally, under most circumstances, supposed to operate different than the executive office of the president. It's not really his job to do that sort of thing. I do think that he should have done a lot more in the public discourse. He should have been standing behind a lectern every day saying, call your representatives, get people to push the legal effort to get these files released and to get these people prosecuted. Sure. I don't like Biden for that. Biden isn't in the files. Trump is also not only like failing to act on the matter, he is actively working against doing what I just said, and he is himself like hugely implicated in the files. So the comparison is like yeah, I'm bummed about a lot of
implicated in what capacity?
He has credible accusations made by many people, like people who are like known to be victims of Epstein's sex trafficking ring, and then those many of those accusations have been redacted by the White House. Just the other day, NPR released this bombshell report that they showed that many of these credible accusations were redacted in a way that is not in accordance with the Epstein Files Release Act, and leads generally the public to think, well, he probably didn't want these released because he's even further implicated in them. If you think that the Epstein files do not implicate Trump, you have been fooled by wherever you're getting your information, because he is very seriously implicated in the Epstein files.
Okay. So Biden is in office. He's president for 4 years. Kamala is vice president. They have these files are there.
I would like for you to respond to what I just said.
So why didn't Kamala bring this up one time during the campaign?
I don't know. Her campaign was bad.
I don't know either.
Rushed, and she failed to win the election. That was a year and a half ago. Can we talk about the sitting president being a rapist?
Being a what?
Can we talk about the sitting president being a rapist? Like, that is, Kamala Harris isn't president. She didn't win the election. That's a different topic. I can talk about that. I think that
has he been convicted of this?
He's been adjudicated.
Because you're going to call somebody that there should be a conviction.
I will. Sorry, I would assert that Donald Trump is a rapist, and if I were sued for libel, I would love for that court case to happen as a contribution to the legal efforts to make it known on the books that he's a rapist, even though he is already adjudicated as a rapist.
But we are a country of laws, right?
Yes,
we're a country of laws, and you are innocent until proven guilty. He's never been proven guilty. So how can you call somebody that if they've never been proven guilty in a court of law?
Because we do not live in a country of laws right now. We live in a country right now where the federal government gets to do whatever they want, and they don't want to prosecute him. They interviewed Hillary Clinton yesterday. They're interviewing Bill Clinton today. By the way, if Bill Clinton's implicated, lock him up. I'm not going to support anybody who's in these files like implicated of doing something bad. But these are people. Hillary's not mentioned in the files at all. Bill Clinton is mentioned in the files without any sort of like massive credible accusations against him. Definitely looks like he was buddies with Epstein. That's suspicious. I would like to know more about that. I'm worried that Bill Clinton has done bad things.
You're not aware of the flight logs of Bill Clinton?
I'm aware. Yeah, right. But a flight log isn't like a credible accusation of like a particular act. That's what I'm saying. So
Well,
like,
it means he was on an airplane with him.
Right. So why is it that you were more concerned about Bill Clinton than Trump, who is mentioned in the Epstein files and given credible accusations in like by a factor of more than 100 times more?
Because they had a friendship in New York City. So obviously, I don't, when you say quote unquote
Bill
files,
Clinton
like
and
everything's
Epstein
like a
had
secret
friendship. Like why is the Bill Clinton one important to you, but not the Trump one?
Because Bill Clinton was a former president of the United States. Donald Trump was just a businessman in New York, and Jeffrey Epstein lived in New York. Like, how did Clinton come into contact with Epstein?
I'd be very interested to know, but it's also less important to me than the
why don't we
being mentioned in the files more than 1 million times and having dozens.
Like, where did Bill Gates come from?
Why can you, dude? Yeah, fuck Bill Gates. I actually I'm sad about Bill Gates because he's like
because if you actually cared about children and everything that happened, we'd be having like a really different conversation. But everybody just wants to go on Trump. Like,
okay, do you know who the 3 most mentioned people in the Epstein files are?
No, I don't.
Would you care to try to guess?
Donald Trump.
He is one of them, yes. The other 2 are less interesting. They're Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, obviously. Why are we talking about Bill Clinton? Why are we talking? I mean, okay, yes, fuck Bill Clinton. I was about to say, you cut me off. I was like sad about Bill Clinton because he's like the only ultra wealthy person where for like years I thought, I think this guy's a good one. I think he's doing the charity thing, like no big scandals, but no, the scandals have come out. The guy's a shitbag. Fuck him. Bury him. Put him in prison. Like whatever, fuck the guy. Right. But like,
what do you mean the scandals are coming out? You don't remember Monica Lewinsky? You don't remember Paula Jones?
I was talking about Bill Gates just now, but
Bill Gates.
But again, cheating on your wife and lying to Congress is like a drop in the ocean of illegal and controversial things that Donald Trump, who is currently the sitting president, not a president from the fucking 90s.
Okay.
Like, so why are we like the conversation that you called in to talk about is that if you support Donald Trump, you are either evil or a fool. And here you are, having been fooled into thinking that these are the important talking points right now. Get them all. They're all important to get. But the sitting president is implicated in these files. I'll say it again. Whether we're counting by mentions or credible accusations or like photographs or things like that mentioned in these files, dozens, if not hundreds of times more, thousands of times more if we're going by mentions, than the people that you are bringing up in like your whataboutism about what all of these people. Fuck them if they're in the Epstein files. I'm talking about Trump because he's running the country.
But give me something that I can latch onto. You're just saying he's mentioned. That does
no. I didn't.
What does that mean?
I did not just say that. What you just did is like
he's the most mentioned.
Okay, no, let's stop. I'm going to explain to you that what you're doing is either like a logical fallacy or bad faith. Evil or fooled, one of the two things. It's that I did say. I
told you I'm both.
Right, but I did say the thing that you just told me I said, but you did something dishonest and said that that's the only thing I said. That is not the only thing I said. There are dozens of credible accusations of him doing illegal things, not to mention that it should be blatantly obvious to anybody with a good understanding of the publicly available information to say that it is catastrophically suspicious the way the DOJ is handling the Epstein files in a way that doesn't have precedent in American history. It is a bigger scandal than Watergate that the DOJ has been caught red-handed redacting files that implicate Trump for being a predator of children when the law specifically states that they cannot do that. That is what I'm upset about, and that is what you are failing to address.
How do you think that Donald Trump was a predator of children with his like high-profile status, like in New York City in the media, and nobody knew about it?
Do you think that Jeffrey Epstein had a high
Donald
profile
Trump just
status?
showed up and
do you think that Jeffrey Epstein had a high profile status? Do you think he was a wealthy, like an influential person?
He wasn't as well known as Donald Trump.
Congratulations. How do you think that Donald Trump was better known than Bill Cosby at the time that we're talking about? Arguable, right?
Similar.
Okay.
Similar.
How many people were raped by Bill Cosby?
I don't know the number.
It's a lot. It's like truckloads of women, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So your argument that somebody who's like high profile and like,
and you don't think anybody knew about Bill Cosby?
I think that many people knew about Bill Cosby. I think that like there are massive cover-ups of this sort of behavior.
Sure, he had the number one show on television in the 1980s.
You're making my point for me. When wealthy, powerful do this shit, they get away with it. That's what we're upset about. That is the massive cover-up we're talking about. It's not just the people we've mentioned in this call. There are loads of people implicated in the Epstein files. There's photographs of men doing horrible, horrible things to children, and there's just no evidence of even an attempt to investigate these people.
So, but do you care about all these other men, or do you just care about Trump because he's president right now?
I care most I care most about Trump right now because he's the president. Yeah.
So it's more political than actually caring about what happened to these children.
I think that if I want justice for children, the biggest target, the one that could do the most good for children, both victims of the past and potential victims in the future, the person who we should have the most interest in, if that is our sole goal, is Donald Trump because of his position in the Epstein files, because he's clearly such a major player. Like we have two kingpins down. Epstein's dead, circumstances suspicious, but he's gone. He's not going to do any more harm. Ghislaine Maxwell still doing harm from within prison, still not being, treated the way that I think would be just for somebody who's committed the crimes that she's committed, but she is incarcerated. Donald Trump literally running the country as not the first or second, but most mentioned person in the Epstein files. Like how are you missing the catastrophic importance of this? How are you talking about what Bill Gates is up to? How are you talking about what Bill Clinton is up to? Bill Clinton wields no political authority in this country.
Well, it still comes down to who actually was on the island.
No, it doesn't. It comes down to who victimized
women. No, it does not.
No, it comes down to who victimized women and children, whether they were on the island or not.
So if Trump was at a party with Epstein, they had some meetings in New York City, many times, whatever. I really don't know the relationship.
If
that
all of the
is
Epstein
more
files
important.
Had been released as is law in
that is more important than somebody getting on an airplane and flying to.
I'm accusing the Trump administration of hiding damning evidence of Donald Trump because do you understand like what percentage of the Epstein files have been released?
No.
Okay, would you care to guess? I will tell you that there have been about 3 million documents released as of right now, as of present.
Mm-hmm.
What percentage of the total do you think that is?
Just tell me. We don't have to play like guessing games.
It's about it's actually fun to play the guessing games because it shows where your headspace is in terms of thinking what's going on. But like whatever your preconceived notion of this is, if you said like 99%, I'd be like, oh yeah, you're like vastly misinformed about like how big the bottom of the iceberg is. It's half. It's about half.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like this stuff, aside from the files, like we've known about Epstein for years. I mean, the first time he was arrested was what, 2011?
Yeah, or earlier than that even. Yeah, and it's a tragedy that he didn't face more justice then. Somebody in the chat just said this goes back as far as the Bush administration. It goes back farther than that. Pam Bondi was Attorney General of Florida.
So what is all this
for 10 years of the time where the suspicious investigatory.
So what is all this faux outrage in 2026? Like we're all of a sudden like we're going to stand up and protect children?
I think it's becoming more widespread, like the knowledge about this controversy, because I have been this mad for years. I think more people are this mad, and that's what you're seeing because of people like myself who are willing to come out and say, like, hey, Fox News is lying to you. The Epstein files are really, really bad, and you should care that the president is in them in ways that are, like, not innocent.
Right.
Yes. So, like, why isn't this an emergency to you?
Because it's been going on forever.
So like if it was 1860 and like somebody was having a conversation with you about like perhaps the human rights of slaves in America, would your answer be that it's been going on for a long time? And
no, because the left doesn't give a shit. The left doesn't give a shit about children. They give a shit about Trump.
The reason we give a shit about Trump is because we give a shit about children. Among other reasons, there's we could literally like excise the whole like sexual predator thing from Trump, and there's still a ton of reasons to really hate him. This is just like one big slice of the pie.
Right. Well, I mean, if you come up with some evidence that he actually did something, get like a conviction.
Okay, so here.
I mean, he's 80 years old.
Okay,
he's going to be 80 years old this year.
Right. Okay. So, but here, let me ask you this: like, what I would really like to see is for the DOJ to do what the law states they are supposed to do, what the Epstein Files Transparency Act says that they are supposed to do, and release the rest of the files and unredact the files that protect Trump. I want that to happen. The fact that that is not happening is an injustice, upon the people by the DOJ that is being run by Trump. Trump. He investigated himself and found himself guilty of no wrongdoing. Like, do you not see the problem here?
You think they're only redacting things that implicate Trump?
I think
the 3 million files?
No, I didn't say that they're only redacting things that only implicate Trump. I'm saying that they are not redacting properly, and it has been proven.
And who the hell put together 6 million pages?
The government over the course of the last 30 years. It's like a pretty expected number of documents for this type of like large scale, like what's the word? Like meta investigation. You have like thousands and thousands of court cases in various different places, different police reports. It's all compiled together. Yeah, it's a lot of the documents are boring. A lot of the documents are like a receipt from a hotel room that like whatever. So,
yeah, exactly. Like, so let me ask you a question. If Jeffrey Epstein was doing this for like 2 decades, why do you think nobody spoke up about this?
I will answer your question, but are you suggesting that he didn't? Like, is that your line of that he wasn't guilty of?
No, I'm just wondering. I'm wondering how he was able to get away with it for so long.
Because there are numerous systems in place to protect the wealthy and powerful in this country, both from legal action, like action by the government, and from like public outrage, like media attention on the bad things that they do.
But that's it's certainly not.
That's an institutional problem in this country that I think Donald Trump is a symptom of. So that's like a parent issue.
But it's certainly not a Democrat or Republican issue, because we obviously had, Democrat presidents during his time. We had Obama for 8 years. We had Biden for 4 years. I mean, it might go back to Clinton, in the late 90s, right?
Well, right. So these bad things were happening during these administrations, but I think that as time has gone on, every person in charge has had more and more and more and more and more evidence to say that this needs to be talked about. This needs to be investigated, and these files need to come out. Yeah. So like, again, I already said I'm mad at Biden for not doing more about it. Obama, I'm not educated about how much information would have gotten to him about this at the time, but I know what information we have now, and I know that you are still sitting here defending a person who I don't have to say is obviously a rapist. He was adjudicated of rape. He is a rapist. You are defending a rapist. You realize that, right?
Yeah. Did you? You got to stop calling him that, because he's never been convicted of that.
Donald Trump is a rapist.
Okay, but
he was adjudicated of being a rapist in a civil court. He was found guilty of a crime that is by any reasonable definition
civilly.
Yes. Yes, right. Because in the past, the statute of limitations on the crime that he committed was shorter, such that when he was tried, they couldn't try him criminally. Had he committed the crime more recently that he is guilty, has been proven guilty in a court of law of doing, then he would have been.
But I'm trying to have a conversation with you about Epstein.
You're saying that he wasn't found,
and you just can't get off of Trump.
The call's about Trump, dude. Epstein's dead. Trump's the president. Which is more important to focus on right now?
Prince Andrew's still alive, ain't he?
Yeah, he was arrested promptly when more files came out. I don't really understand the legal system in England enough to know how much it means that he got like released quickly. Like in America, I know he got bonded out.
But we knew about Prince Andrew way before the files, quote unquote, came out. We knew this.
You can pick any person that's implicated as being a problem in these files. There are clearly thousands of them, and say like, well, what about him? And I say, lock them up. They're fucking pedophiles. Like, lock them up. But Trump's like the king.
So why is every third word out of your mouth Trump?
He's the president, dude. He's the president of the country I live in. Like, yeah, we should.
But you don't have anything on him. You just said he's mentioned.
There's a lot on him. He is an adjudicated rapist. You have,
and then you want to bring up E. Jean Carroll. That's conflating the entire issue.
I was just saying you are defending an adjudicated rapist, and I think that that's reprehensible behavior. And I would like an explanation from you on that.
Adjudicated rapist.
Yes, he was found.
Did you ever see the?
No, I would like to.
Did you ever see the hot mic?
Like, do you think that Trump is a good person?
I don't care if he's a good person.
I want to know your answer to the question. Is he a good person?
I believe there's some good qualities about him. I also think he's done a lot of shitty shit in his life.
Would you trust if you had to run an errand, would you trust him to mind your children for like a half hour?
Yes, I would.
That's fucking insane, dude. You need to look at the Epstein files. Like that's crazy. Have you heard him talk about the way he it's everywhere. It's every commentator uses it. It's like the Dean Withers clip. Have you heard the clip of him talking about barging into young girls' locker rooms? Like,
yeah, at the Miss USA pageant.
Yeah.
Young girls. Define young.
Underage, like not able to consent.
they were overage, but that's okay.
No, there's numerous credible accusations by people who are underage.
Numerous credible accusations.
Yeah, that'll align with his admission.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know why the Democrats didn't use all this credible information against Trump.
I'm mad about
during
it
the
too.
campaign.
I think it's insane that there are so many fools in this country who think it's okay. I remember when in 2016, when the Access Hollywood tapes came out, and Donald Trump, said the grab him by the line. I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, okay, Hillary Clinton's going to be president. And then I went about my day. I remember seeing it and being like, boom, smoking gun. We can't elect that guy because, think about the things that have ended political careers in this country. Donald Trump does something that 10 years ago would end up, or 10 or 15 years ago would end a person's political career. He does something like that every day of the week.
Are you aware that there are some women in this world that will allow someone like Donald Trump to do that to advance their careers?
Wait, would allow?
I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying, are you aware that there are some women get grabbed?
Right, but that's not what he was describing. Are you defending?
What was he describing?
He was describing abruptly.
He could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, abruptly doing it before checking for consent, which is SA.
I'd have to see the video again. It wasn't like...
Let's watch it. Let's do it.
Oh, my goodness.
No, you said you'd like to... Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you said you'd like
Billy,
to watch
what's his name? Billy what?
Oh, who was it?
I forget it. Billy something
name.
Or other.
Right?
Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah.
He looks like... He's like Timu Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, sure. Okay, here we go. Posted October 7th.
Billy Bush. There, he's got
Billy
it.
Bush, that's who it was. Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Code.
So yeah, we've got lewd remarks, and this was actually posted on October 7th of 2016. So this is actually a good, I hate watching newer stuff because it can be altered, but this is an old YouTube video, it's a 9-year-old YouTube video. All right, are we ready to watch? Let's test out my new stuff. I should be able to go to top of page. Ah, there we go. Can everybody see all right? Here, you know what? I'll actually do the other thing.
Oh, this is fancy.
I'll do full page so you guys can see a little higher. And then, wait, is it going to work? Ha! There we go. Let's watch it.
Moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and fuck her. She was married.
It's huge news, Sarah.
No, Nancy.
Yeah.
No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. But I couldn't get there. And she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Pull the ham.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
You can do anything you want. Grab them by the pussy.
When you're a star, they let you do it.
Who's they in that sentence?
The women that he starts doing whatever he does.
Right. So you think that because you're a star, you just have consent from everybody?
Bro, I'm not... First of all, I'm not a star. Second of all, I don't agree with what he fucking did. I'm not down with it.
Okay. Then why did we watch that? What's the... you're not...
Because there was no... He talked about one woman that he fucking moved on like a bitch, and she rejected him. Did he say, I fucking raped her? Okay, no, he said, I failed.
Trump having not raped a particular woman is not particularly good evidence of him having raped no women, especially when he is an adjudicated rapist.
He said he tried, and he failed, and admitted that.
Did you? The thing I just said 3 seconds ago.
So if he's like a serial,
is the response to what you just said again? It's just the same point again.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. So okay. So here, let's talk about how it was a week ago or something. NPR had this bombshell report about how there were particular redacted Epstein files where they're a string of accusations that the FBI had, and NPR figured out through some sleuthing that the redacted ones were accusations against Trump. Do you like? I want to see those. Like, I would pay. I'd empty my bank account to see that stack of papers, and that would hurt my ass because I got bills to pay. But I would do it because it would be a good thing for America for us to see what's in those accusations that the DOJ has very conspicuously and illegally redacted. Are you interested in seeing what's in those files?
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing all the files.
Okay, then why are you not upset about the fact that half of them haven't been released and that the half that have been released are overly redacted in a way that's obviously illegal?
Bro, I didn't say I'm not upset. I'm just saying this is bigger than all of us. It's been going on for fucking decades. And if we want to have a real conversation about it, we got to stop making it political.
Okay,
because it's not a political issue.
No, it is a political issue because the only reason it's an issue at all is because
child essay is a political issue.
Yes, because the president of the United States is directing the Department of Justice of the United States to orchestrate a grand conspiracy that benefits pedophiles. So yes, it is a political issue.
Do you know any other?
I'm sorry if that upsets you, but it's clearly a political issue. Our lawmakers
are you aware of any
are not
other
doing enough to protect children. That's a political issue.
Can you name, besides Epstein, can you name any high-profile C-3POs, whatever you want, PDFs, like throughout history, or any child essay scandals? Do you know any besides Epstein?
No, like similar to him, where they're like a kingpin. I mean, there's lots of people who've been accused throughout history of like doing the sorts of crimes that Epstein supported. But are you talking about like people at the? You know
any organizations? Do you know anything besides Epstein and Trump?
I'm not understanding your question. Oh, P. Diddy's a good example. R. Kelly's mentioned in the chat. Did somebody mention P. Diddy, or did my brain come up with that? Yeah, P. Diddy's a good example.
I'm talking what... Okay. Here, I'll throw a name out there for you.
He's in prison for it, and I would argue that if he was the president, he might not be. But he is in prison for what he did. So there's your example.
You're young, and you probably haven't studied. So do you know who Jimmy Savile was?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. See, you're jumping into this whole child essay thing, and you haven't really done your research. Like, you got your talking points with Epstein, the Epstein files and everything like that. I suggest that if you're really interested in what's happened to children throughout history, it's all out there.
Okay.
You could actually look it up.
Okay. Just to start with, I'm just going to look at this little section right here where it says that he died as an 84-year-old in 2011. Mm-hmm. I'd love to hear what you want to say about this guy really quick, but I'm going to bring the focus back to the sitting president of the United States instead of this dead guy I've never heard of. But yeah, why is he important? Who is this?
Well, he was the most famous DJ in England.
Okay, yeah.
Hosted a show called Top of the Pops for years. Had access to the royal family. He was a serial PDFer.
Yeah, looks like a real bad dude.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Hundreds upon hundreds. And he also did things that gained him access to children. Worked in hospitals.
Okay, got it. He sucks. What's your point?
This guy was allowed to do this for decades back in the 70s.
Yeah, and we need to burn down the institutions that allowed him to do that, figuratively, of course. I mean, we need to topple whatever system in this country allows people like this fucked up motherfucker and the president.
Yeah, but you and I have no idea why this is allowed to exist. We're not sure. We're not privy to that kind of information.
Yeah, but for example, we'd be like way more privy to it if the DOJ would release the Epstein files, which they have illegally continued to not do. Like, well, I don't understand your point. Like, yeah, okay, I brought up P. Diddy as an example.
Proving my point.
You brought up this guy as an example. Like, yeah, both terrible, like, bad people who did, like, massive, like, large-scale sex crimes against children. Very, very, very bad. I think that the president is one of them. Like, can we talk about him? Like, he's the president.
Mm-hmm. So you're more interested in Donald Trump than the history of child essay throughout the world.
I'm going to leave this open. I'll read up on it. Unfortunately, there's so many. I'm not like an encyclopedia that knows everything about every single one.
You're not familiar with any institutions that systematically essayed children? Any institution in the entire...
Nickelodeon, dude. Like, any of them. I mean, Paramount. Like, the major media conglomerates that Harvey Weinstein controlled. Like, yeah, there's tons of them. Like, what's your point?
Harvey Weinstein wasn't doing it with children. There's no evidence of
Okay,
that.
sure. Why I just plucked an example of like wide scale child abuse. The first thing I said is like a pretty good example of an organization that did protect widespread child abuse, which is Nickelodeon. Which is
with Dan Schneider?
That one hits me right in the feels because I'm exactly the age where like you know, like me and my siblings watched all those shows and we didn't know what was going on in the background. It's terrible.
Yeah, well, I watched them on Head of the Class in the 80s.
Wait,
I didn't even know who.
Wait, I do have like you do realize that like the biggest example right now of like the most powerful, like Catholic Church is a great example. I'll also thank Jake for that.
Well, that's why I was asking you, and I was like trying to.
Yeah,
do you know about any?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. I think that any pope's a bad pope because they aren't doing a massive amount to uncover the amount the like obviously enormous amount of like child SA that's been protected and covered up by the Catholic Church. It's a big problem. We should get the pope. The pope doesn't have nearly as much power on this planet as the U.S. president. Certainly not over like me and like the sphere of influence I have as like an English speaker who lives in America.
But it's more as though why the media is not interested in the topic.
I think the media should be interested in the topic, but I think that if we're
you ever see it? You ever see it on the news?
But there's this giant silver platter of like the people should demand that the Epstein, like we need to not drop this thing about the Epstein files because we have this like massive investigation that was done over the course of the last 30 years and all this information compiled into one place. We have this big smorgasbord and we just want to lift the cover on this silver platter and see what the fuck is going on so we can incarcerate some of these people and put a stop to all.
And I'm just saying that it doesn't end. It doesn't begin and end with Epstein.
I'm not. Who is saying it does? Dude, Epstein's dead. I'm still upset about it. Like, how could I be arguing that it ends with Epstein? The guy's dead, and I'm mad. I'm mad that the U.S. president. I'm of course mad about the Pope. Religion's a whole other topic. That's a whole other can of worms. I could do a whole live stream about how much I hate religion, about how much I in particular hate the organization of the Catholic Church. Sorry, that as an example slipped my mind because I'm a little distracted by the fact that the U.S. government is a bigger and more powerful entity that's doing more to protect child predators than the Catholic Church appears to be. Like, again, if I have one fire extinguisher, I'm gonna focus on the problem. I'm gonna focus on the biggest thing, and right now it's that the sitting president of the United States is orchestrating a grand conspiracy to protect pedophiles. The Pope is guilty of the same crime. Bad. We should lock him up. I think any pope that has not resulted in like hundreds, if not thousands, of priests being arrested for SA is a pope that's not doing their job well. I would argue as a kind of somewhat anti-religious person that like I don't really think that the Pope's job is like important, but like that's a whole separate matter. Like even if I'm just gonna say like no, you could be the leader of your, I believe in religious freedom.
I wasn't asking your views on religion. I really don't care.
You brought up the Pope, dude.
No, I brought up what happened to children in the Catholic Church over the past few hundred years.
Yeah, real bad. I actually, you know what? There's a pretty good chance that if we look at the other half of the Epstein files that haven't been released, I would bet money that there are some priests in there who've been protected because they have some financial ties or something. We don't know. But I'd love to see it. I want pedophiles to be in prison, especially the one that is currently the president. Like what? Like okay. I don't understand your point at all. Like get them all. There's this idea that it's like, oh, you guys are defending Bill Clinton. Who's defending Bill Clinton? If he did anything bad, which like I haven't seen like direct accusations of like where like nobody has said like Bill Clinton, nobody credible has said Bill Clinton did this to me, right? Like there's no like, oh, when I was like a teenager, he raped me because like at this party with Jeffrey Epstein. There's no such accusation against Bill Clinton. If any such thing came out, lock him up. It's so straightforward.
Did you see the Hillary Clinton? Did you see the Hillary Clinton press conference yesterday after her deposition?
Yeah, she gave about the 7 minutes of statements that she gave. I did watch that.
Did you see the last question before she walked away?
Remind me, which one was last?
It was about Ghislaine Maxwell being at Chelsea Clinton's wedding.
Oh yeah. She said that that Ghislaine Maxwell attended that wedding as a +1 of a guest.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You believe that?
I don't know. I'm not educated on the matter. I wouldn't be surprised if Hillary Clinton was lying. Right. She might have an interest in protecting Bill. She might have an interest in covering her tracks for her associations with Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein. Like these are, yeah, sure, mm-hmm. All of it. The current president though, like so the fuck what? They're interviewing Hillary Clinton. They're interviewing Bill Clinton. Great, they should do that, right? She should have to answer those sorts of questions in a press conference. Why isn't Trump? Remember what you called in to talk about. Why isn't Trump required to
Because you still haven't given me anything that he did wrong. You just said he's mentioned in the files.
Wait. No, I'll give you something that he did wrong that is like completely smoking gun, which is that, like, okay, so here, let's go like one thing at a time. Do you recognize that the way that the DOJ has handled the Epstein files is illegal as per the Epstein Files Transparency Act that was passed at the end of last year, just a few months ago?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That's what he's guilty of?
I would argue that he's guilty of a great many things, but I'm saying one particular thing that he's doing that's clearly illegal is supporting the DOJ in their effort to cover up all of this. Why isn't Trump saying to Pam Bondi, "Hey, Pam Bondi, you got to do your job. You got to release those Epstein files"? That's the law.
I'm not sure.
This is a country of law and order, right? Like, okay. So you're not sure why he's not doing that. I'm pretty sure of why he's doing that, and that's, I think, where you and I disagree. But I can ask this. If you admit that that is the situation, if you admit that the DOJ is doing that and that Trump is doing nothing about it, in fact, he's, like, supporting the people who are doing it. He's saying that Pam Bondi's doing a great job. He's, all of that. Not to mention the fact that he actually, like, tried his hardest to get the law not to pass, and then, like, the moment they got the vote they needed, he literally scrambled to try to convince a couple Republicans that had flipped to flip back. Like, he really tried to not get the files released at all. But it happened, but the law was changed such that they had to be released. The DOJ is not doing that, and he's doing nothing about it. That is something he has been caught red-handed doing. We have watched it happen in real time over the last few months. Why are you not upset about that?
It's not that I'm not upset about it.
You don't seem upset about it at all. And I don't need you to raise your voice. Like, you're not saying anything that would suggest to me that you're even mildly
I'm not raising my voice.
I didn't accuse you of it. I'm saying that, like, when I say that you're not, like, upset about it, I'm saying...
why am I not raising my voice?
No, I'm saying you wouldn't need to raise your voice to show me that you're upset. I'm not asking you to crash out. I'm saying, like, why aren't... Like this conversation that we've had has demonstrated to me that you're thoroughly unconcerned about this and would rather talk about this, like, dead guy from 10 years ago, Jeffrey Epstein, who's also dead, Bill Clinton, who's maybe sitting in the chair being deposed as we speak, by the way, because that's happening today. Like, you're talking about all these people where, like, they're either dead or, like, there is actually an investigation happening against them, and, like, there is some semblance of justice happening for their victims. But I'm sitting here talking about the sitting president of the United States, the one who is talking about unconstitutionally federalizing the elections that are about to take his power away if he fails to federalize and control them. I'm talking about him. Why are you not upset about what he did, caught red-handed on the TV in front of everybody, regarding the Epstein files? What is it? The Epstein files.
Probably because I'm double your age, and I realize that nothing is ever going to happen about any of this.
Okay, so wait. So
you'll get a one or a two.
So it is bad that he's doing that. You just don't care enough to try because you think it's a futile effort.
Yeah, I don't care enough to try.
That's fucked up, dude. Like, you literally just said that you the reason you're not upset about that, the reason you're not freaking out about that is because you don't think anything is going to happen. So you're just admitting defeat.
No, because I
would argue that you're the one who doesn't care about children.
No, it's because I knew all this fucking 10 years ago. You like all of a sudden everybody's up in arms in the files. Oh my God, this is happening. Like,
right,
why is this like?
And we live in a country
surprise?
of law and order where there has to be tangible, concrete evidence of wrongdoing, which there now is.
But nobody's ever cared until Trump got into office.
I would argue
nobody ever cared.
I think it's a big problem that Epstein got away with what he did for as long as he did. I will also point out that he was twice arrested and incarcerated for it. Trump has not been incarcerated once for what he's done. Wait. So you do understand that it's a change in your position for you to say that nothing's going to happen about it, because the entire time you've been saying that you're right. Now you're saying I'm right, but the system is so broken, so terrible for children that we should just throw our hands up and do nothing about it because nothing's happened about it for decades. Why should nothing's going to happen now? Like, dude, like, what is fucking wrong with you? Like, live as a progressive human being on Earth and say that tomorrow can be better than yesterday. Like, what is?
I'm not a progressive.
You should be. Like, yeah, tomorrow, the past has been shitty. There are things that have been shitty about this country and about this world forever. Over time, we get better about them, Like, we didn't used to let women vote. That was pretty crummy of us, right? Like, would you agree that was shitty?
Yeah, pretty bad.
Okay, that was not the confidence I was hoping for. But would you say it's a good thing that now women are allowed to vote?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Okay, that's a progressive value. We used to have slavery in this country. We no longer have slavery in this country. Would you say that that's a good thing?
It's a good thing.
That's a progressive value. Children used to not only not be required to go to school, but if they wanted to go to school, it wasn't free. They had to pay for it. We now not have free education in this country. It's very flawed. Lots of problems in the education system, but we do have education that's like better than like less developed countries. Not as good as other developed countries. We need to work on that. But we have both free and compulsory school. Do you think that that's a good thing?
It's a great thing, but these are not progressive ideas. These are
literally
these are moderate.
They've become moderate.
No, to you they're progressive.
They were progressive when they were proposed 100 years ago when women were fighting for the right to vote. They were the progressives fighting for the next best thing. Today we
can argue over the semantics of what a progressive is.
It's not semantics. It's what progressives are. I'm literally just right about this. It isn't a matter of semantics. Historically, progressives become moderates as their ideas become expected. It's in the name, dude. We progress. We move along, right? We're like, the kids have schools. We're not enslaving anybody. The women can vote. This is great. Maybe you know what? Let's codify the fact that people should have the same rights in this country, to, like, regardless of the color of their skin. We got that done in the 60s. There's been some repealing of that lately, which is crummy. Like, that's what being progressive is. And right now, we're trying to take down the pedophiles, and you're saying, no, nobody's going to do anything about it. So just fuck it. We'll just keep the pedophiles. It's fine. Like, is that your argument?
You're trying to take down the PDFs?
Yeah, dude, let's put him in prison. Let's stop him. Let's like fix it. I think it's also part of a bigger problem where, like, child SA and SA generally isn't the only crime that wealthy, rich, powerful people are guilty of and are being protected from the consequences of, both legally and socially.
Well, it's not just
it's bigger than.
You think it's just rich, wealthy people that are doing this?
No, I think it's just rich, wealthy people who are getting away with it the way that they are.
What about children that are trafficked across the into the United States?
Can I get a W in the chat?
From third world countries.
From my cat, Scout. She's a strange little creature, but I love her. Anyway. Sorry, say what you just said again.
I said, what about children that are being trafficked, from third world countries into the United States?
Very bad. I think that if we
where do you think all these children are coming from?
I think that if we released all the Epstein files, incarcerated investigated properly everybody who was implicated in them, got some convictions, and then through those investigations we'd get more information, right? Because if somebody's implicated in the Epstein files, we can subpoena their lives. We can say, let's look through these boxes of documents in your basement. We'll make progress on the cases that you brought up. We have this smorgasbord of productive effort in front of us that we could do if the Epstein files are released. And there's people like you who just are doing this whataboutism. Don't step on my keyboard, Scout.
It's not whataboutism. It's called a conversation. I mean,
no,
it's not.
You called into a live stream to talk about Trump, and you're saying, what about all this other stuff that's happening?
Then let's talk about other things. You want to talk about illegal immigration?
No, I'm gonna stay on this topic with you and then move on to somebody else because I have some other people in my guest queue.
That's cool. You can move on. It's fine.
All right. You're welcome to call back in any time. I appreciate you. No. Well, I don't appreciate you as a person, but I appreciate the way that you've participated in the conversation. You've been cordial and
that hurts my feelings. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, you're in for a lifetime of people telling you that, dude. Progressive values always win. There'll be 40 years from now, if you're still alive, people are going to be like, oh yeah, you were one of those bastards.
I won't be alive in 40 years. Don't worry about it.
Bad for you. Good for me. Goodbye.